Hi, welcome back to Box Delights. Today we're playing a small 1 or 2 player game. I'm going to show you the solo game. It's called Assembly. This is currently a print and play, but they're looking to publish this. This is from an independent board game publisher, Wren Games. You can find them at wrengames.co.uk and look out for their Kickstarter, I think May 2018. At the moment it's a small box, very small box of cards and tokens and a single 12-sided die. I'm going to show you how to set this one up and play it. So a quick playthrough. There's different variants to the game. We've got 4 cards that are positioned in kind of the clock face. There's different varieties of these cards. We have a basic model like so, but there's also upgraded ones that have these small functions. I'll explain what these are about, and there's 2 sets of these to give some variability to the game. In particular, as a solo game, it's a puzzle solving game. You've got to puzzle out and solve the game in front of you, and 2 players, it's co-op doing the same. The basic premise is we're on an orbital platform that assembles luxury spaceships. There's been a swarm of meteorite impacts, and these meteorite impacts have introduced a deadly virus, and that's wiped out all the staff. You and another crew member, so there's 2 of you if you're playing 2-player, are the only survivors, and you've got to try and escape. Unfortunately, the onboard computer has quarantined the whole orbital space station and venting all the air to ensure nothing survives. Alright, so we've got a bit of a backstory here. What you've got is a half-built spaceship and a limited set of commands that you can use to complete that spaceship. You've got to assemble that spaceship. And to do this, we've got modules, right? We've got modules. These are the tokens. And these tokens have to fit in the right bay. The whole game really is solving this abstract puzzle. So for example, here the Research Labs module needs to be in the Research Labs bay. The elevator module needs to be in the elevator bay, and so on. Okay? The setup of the game is different each time. All the modules start face down and you can introduce them slowly using your commands. And your commands are very limited. Right, you've basically just got a few commands. This is the only card with 2 commands on it, and you can use it as an either or. Okay, so they've got the draw command, reveal and place 1 new module. And this is why we talk about this clock face, because all you're going to do is roll the die, and if you roll a 5, then the module appears in the 5 o'clock position. I'll demo all this very shortly. And the second command lets you lock in position 1 or 2 modules. So if they're in the right spots, you lock that bay. What that means is, for example, here's medical bay. If you get the medical module in the medical bay, you can lock it down, flipping it over. Okay. Then we have the swap the positions of 2 modules. Okay. And then you've got rotate. And you can rotate clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on which card you get. So this is a rotate clockwise, this is a rotate anti-clockwise, and this is a rotate either 1 or 2 spaces. Alright, so the modules move round. So we've got to use this very limited set of commands. We do have a wild as well. Very limited set of commands to get all the modules on the right bays. Okay, so let's go set up and I'll show you how this works. For the solo game, you're going to remove 1 of each of these basic cards. They go back in the box. So we've got a smaller number of cards in the solo game than we do in the 2-player game. You also place aside 1 of these rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise, but rotate either way, and the wild card. We're going to put them aside. We put this one down and then this one on top. Okay, these are going to help us not just introduce new cards into the game, but also track the number of rounds, because every time we get through the main draw deck, that's the timer, that's 1 round gone. We add another card in, we go through the deck again, we add another card in, we go through the deck again, and then the game ends. So that's 3 times through the deck. So these cards kind of help you with the timing of that. So we're going to put those aside. So the rest get shuffled up. This becomes our draw deck. Our modules also get shuffled and formed into a stack. And we shuffle up the 12 bays and create the orbital space station. Start at the 12 o'clock. Now they've got two sides. This is the locked side. Our aim is to try and get all 12 locked. All right, they're going to start unlocked. All right, we just put them in this clock face position. So 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. Okay. There we go. We've created the orbital platform. In between each round, the ship's computer is going to glitch. And then we have to, anything that's not locked, anything unlocked is going to get reshuffled. Alright, so there's a timing element which adds this nice little extra dimension to the puzzle. Really like that bit. Finally, we get to choose a role, a character role. Select this randomly or pick which one you like. I'm going to go for Emily, the production manager. This is all the rules here for assembly. It says 1 to 2 players, 10 to 20 minutes. Designed by Janice and Stu Turner. So thank you to Janice for giving me this prototype. She did talk about how the cards may get larger in the final production, but I quite like these small ones. It gives you a nice small footprint game. And this is a little handy reference card here for the commands. We're going to start the game with just one room module, and all we do is roll the die. Whichever number we get, that's a number 8, we go round the clock face. Here's the 8 position, just before the 9, and we place the top module in there. Alright, so this is the engineering module. It should be over here. Okay, so our job is to get it over here and lock this room. To begin the game, we have a hand of 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is going to form the actions we can take. So we can either draw and lock, or swap. Okay, so swap's no good right at the beginning because we've only got 1 on the board. So I'm definitely going to be playing a draw. So all we do is discard, roll the die to see where the module is going to appear. I rolled a 4. If I rolled an 8, then all you do is look for the first unlocked bay in a clockwise direction, right? So that would go here instead. Right, but we've rolled a 4 and it is security. So we've got a tricky start. 2 things a long way from where they should be. That's it, we've taken an action, now we draw a card. And like I say, our aim then is to do this before we get through the deck 3 times. Right, we've got swap, so I could push these, and actually that's quite a good idea, because that will put this next to this and this next to this. So let's play a swap now. Right, we'll swap the position of these 2. Now with 1 counterclockwise rotation, I should be able to put those where they should be. So let's see if we can get that. Yeah, there we go, 1 or 2 bays. Right, let's play this action. So this is a rotate. Everything has to rotate 1 or 2. So I could go this way, 1 or 2, or this way, 1 or 2. So I'm going to go counterclockwise, 1, anti-clockwise, 1 or 2. Perfect. Alright, now I can lock these 2 down. So I'm going to play the draw lock, use it for its 2 lock. 1 lock is inefficient. You can see, with 12 bays, 12 modules, doing it 2 at a time is the most efficient way of doing it. So I can lock this one, flip it over, remove this, lock this one, flip it over, remove this. And when you lock one of these bays, this is when you check the malfunction. Malfunction, place 1 draw lock card from the discard pile on the top or bottom of the deck. So that's pretty cool. I can take this card and now I can place it on the top or the bottom. So do I want it now or do I want it later? I think I want it now. So I'm going to put it on the top of the deck. We've got to look out for these malfunctions. Number 12 says, unless this is the final bay to be locked, unlock another bay. Okay, so I've got to lock this one last, otherwise another one's going to unlock. Number 6 says you may not draw command cards at the end of your turn. So we're going to start with only 2 command cards for the next turn. And number 9 says, move 1 room module 1 space clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, so we've got to swap them around. As it goes, we know what we're going to draw. We're going to draw the draw lock. Alright, and so I'm going to play the draw action. Let's roll the die. This goes into slot 4 down here. Alright, that's the AI core. The AI core needs to be over here. Draw back up. Another draw lock, so I think we're going to play this again. Roll the die. We've rolled an 8, which is this spot. What do we get? We've got Shuttle Bay. It's quite close to where it needs to be. Let's see if we can draw a rotate. Yeah, we do. And the idea of solving this puzzle really is trying to do so in the most efficient way. So, I could rotate everything clockwise one spot. That'll move AI core down here. So it only solves one part of the puzzle. So I could try and draw again. See what that does. You've got to time this right, because look, there's only 2 cards left in the draw deck here. And what happens when we pull that, we can't draw another, the deck reshuffles, and when that deck refresh happens, all the rooms get muddled up, all the unlocked ones. So this will stay, they'll all get shuffled up. This module will stay here, so potentially it's no longer right next to where it needs to be. So I could do this, rotate it, lock just one down, but I'm trying to be efficient, and I want to try and lock it down before the deck refresh happens. So let's see. I think what I'll do instead is I'll do a draw. And the other thing is, I know how many draw unlocks there are. In the solo game there's only 6. And I've used 3, there's one here, so these 2 are both draw lock cards. So I think I'm going to draw like crazy and see what happens. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to play draw again. Roll the die. It's a 9. That's going to put Transporter in Shuttle Bay. Draw. So now if I rotate clockwise and rotate 2, 1, 2, that'll put Transporter in the right spot, but obviously the shuttle is then over in quarters because it's moved twice. Right, you can't move them different amounts. So I think I'm going to draw again. This isn't necessarily going to work out unless I get a bit of luck. Right, number 1, which is AI core up here. And I've drawn the research lab. Alright, that's cool. Or it would be, but maybe I can use Amelie's ability here. I've got the draw lock. Because remember, Amelie says play 2 commands cards successfully. If I did a swap now, and swap those 2, I'd have to do a deck refresh and everything would get shuffled up anyway, so I haven't got an opportunity to lock them. But I can play Amelie's ability, play 2 command cards consecutively. So what I can do is I can play the swap these 2. Right, put that one in there, that one in there. Use Amelie's ability, this is a one-time use, so I flip this over to show I've used it. And play the lock. And then lock this one. And lock this one. Pretty cool, huh? Now I have to draw, and I can't, because there's nothing to draw, so I have to shuffle these up. But I include this extra rotate, okay, wild rotate. So this goes in as well. So now I've got an extra card. The phase is going to last up just 1 card longer, and I've got this 1 extra rotate. All right. Next, I move all the modules off their bays. There's only 2. I take all the unlocked bays, give them a shuffle, and then replace them, going at 12 and going clockwise. So medical now here. Like so, and then replace these on their respective bays. Okay, how did that work out? Now we've got this one to go over here and this one to go over here. So yeah, not quite, yeah, not easy. Finally, draw 2. 1, 2. Okay, so I've got a draw lock, and a rotate. Rotate 2 would put this here and this here. It's not really helping me, is it? Let's play a draw. And we got a 12. It's the bed, which is, what's that? That's quarters. Think about quarters. Quarters needs to come down here. So I could swap with something and rotate. So if I swap with this one and went this way 1, yeah, that's perfect. So I want to swap. If I can get a swap, no. Or I could just do a rotate 1. So you get the idea. If I do a rotate now, 1 or 2 bays, if I rotate 1 bay, everything goes 1 bay. And this one skips over locked bay, so it would end up here. Now I could do a swap on these two, and they'll be in their respective right places. So I'm looking for a swap. Come on. No, it's a draw lock. I do need a draw lock, but let's go for the draw. What will be quite nice now is if we rolled something that kind of had some synergy with the transporter here that goes over here. Let's see. It's a 10, so we're up here, and it is hydrophonics. Yeah, that doesn't work, does it? So these two are good, but swapped. This one's down here, this one's over here. So yeah, they're quite a long way away from home, aren't they? Alright, there's our swap. Let's just play that then. Let's swap these two. Draw and lock. Draw and lock those two in. That's 1. So we'll do that one first, then this one. And obviously we've locked this, so we have to do the malfunction. You may not draw command cards at the end of your turn. Right, so I guess that's not so bad. In fact, that's probably a benefit, solo. This one now, if it rotated this way, it would go here, then here. So a row 2 rotation would get this one home, but it would put this one 1, 2 here. Do you see? It would go 1, 2. And that one would come in here. Or do I go for the draw? Yeah, because just locking one, having one in the right place is no good. I know this is going to be another draw, lock. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I've only got 2 cards to play with now. But that's alright. I'll go draw again, I think. Let's get these modules out. It's a 2, so it's over in the transporter position. That's good. If it's navigation, it is even better. So that's a swap away from the right spot as well. Okay, draw. Back up to our maximum hand size. We've got another draw. 2 draws and rotate. Well, we haven't got the swap. We've only used 1, and there's 2 swaps in the game. So one of these is a swap. So if I swap these and locked them, so I don't really want to rotate, do I? So what do I do? Another draw? Let's do another draw. Proper puzzly, isn't it? That's a 2, and we're going to go here. Well, if this was elevator, it's not. It's this one, the VR lab. Okay. Ah, there's our swap. There's our swap. So if I swap, draw, lock, then everything will get shuffled. Alright, let's do that. So I'm going to swap these 2. Draw, lock these 2. 1, 2. Can't draw, so we've got the reshuffle. Alright, this is looking good. We've got 4 more, we've got 2 more to get out. And of course, I shuffle in the wild card this time, so 1 extra card. And that wild card can be really useful, though I'm doing really well. I don't think I'm going to need it. And then, of course, we push these aside, move all the rooms around. So it's going to be an interesting combo at the end. So elevator here, he's back where he was. These 2 are kind of swapped around. Alright. And we draw back up. Okay. Let's see. What can we do? What can we do? So he needs to get here. He needs to get here. So that's 1 rotate. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to draw. Do I swap? Yeah, let's draw. Let's see what's going where. Number 1's occupied, so here is the medical. Ah, okay. So now I want to rotate. So let's rotate. 1 this way. He goes 1, he goes 1, he goes 1. Now I can lock in this. Yep, lock these two. Lock. Let's lock this one first. I don't think it matters, but we've got to malfunction this one. It says move 1 room module 1 space clockwise or anti-clockwise. 1 room module 1. So actually, this has probably helped us. So this module is going to go here. Now we draw. Pop them here. We draw. We're looking for another draw. I don't suppose it matters, but let's rotate twice. We're going to swap and swap again, or we can just go rotate once, rotate twice. A quick comment actually before I move on. I realised afterwards there's a better option, because at any time you can discard 3 cards, all 3 cards, as a wild. And given that, so I could have just discarded these 3 and treated it as a lock, and that would have done it, and I wouldn't have to have drawn up, and I've actually finished the game with 1 more card in the draw deck. Yeah, so that's a better option, so look out for that 3 cards wild. We just got to get a... There we go. Here's our wild card. That's what will save the day, and then we kind of lock these 2 down, and we've completed the puzzle. And we completed it with 1, 2, 3, 4 cards to spare. So our score, if you want to score, I mean, we could just stop there and say that's our victory. If you want to score, it's 2 points for every locked room, locked module, so that's 12, 24. Obviously, if you hadn't won, then you'd have less than 24, and you get 1 point for every module left in open bays. But we've got 24, then it's 1 point for every extra card, so we've got 28 points. And that's a pretty good, solid victory. 24 to 25 is a perfect victory. You've escaped in the nick of time. 26 to 29, which is what we've got, we've aced it. We've escaped with a little time to spare. And then 30 plus is gifted. Plenty of time. And you need to up the difficulty. One way of increasing the difficulty is to, when you're taking these cards out at the beginning of the game, instead of taking out the clockwise and anti-clockwise, take out the any rotate. Okay, take out 2 of the any rotates, 1 or 2, and keep those in instead. Right, that will make it slightly more difficult. So that's assembly. A really great little puzzle. I love the abstract nature of this. I love the graphic design. I think the graphic design is perfect. It's perfectly functional. It's perfectly clear what's going on. I think these rooms look excellent as well. I love that this is a little box. Maybe they could put that in a little tin. And I think the tokens are fantastic. They also need to do something about the reverse side, but apart from that, a very solid, great little solitaire puzzle. In the 2-player game, obviously here you're limited by the communication and understanding what your opponent's going to do. You choose commands on your turn, and then the support player, who's not the active player, but this time you've got to play matching cards. So you've got to play, say, a rotate clockwise, and then your opponent has to confirm that command by verifying that they have a matching command. All right, if you can't, they discard. So there's this extra element of having a reduced hand size because you can't support your opponent's commands, and also this idea of having to play cooperatively. Swapping and then locking is something I can do nice and easily, and solitaire, swapping and rotating, it's more a perfect information, but playing co-op you've got to try and work together. So that's assembly. I really like this. It gets a big thumbs up from me, and it's a game that you can keep playing for its simple rule set, quick play time, and a nice dose of puzzle solving. Thanks for watching. See you next time.